Thank you for joining American Medicine Today, brought to you by the Bonati Spine Institute. I'm Kimberly Brummel, along with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon of the Bonati Spine Institute, Dr. Alfred Bonati, Ethan Euchre, and Jeff Wagstaff. Also on the line, we have Dr. Elena George. She calls it like she sees it and gives us that insider's view of what it's really like to practice medicine on the front lines.
Yeah, I've actually had Dr. George on the morning show on WFLA, our flagship station here in Tampa, and she's very good. Her interest in the politics of healthcare as well as the reform effort has led her to become a pretty powerful voice for the practicing physician and an advocate for the patient. And it's a pleasure to have you, Dr. George. How are you this afternoon?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
I know Jeff had a quote of yours that he found very intriguing.
Dr. George, in the
Your mic.
bioinformation...
In the bioinformation we received from you, it quoted you, and I really like this. In short, the healthcare system is breaking into a two-tiered system. Those who are relegated to Obamacare will be trapped in a system which locks them out of the very best health care that our country has to offer, while those who can will simply afford to opt out.
It's true.
Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely true.
She's like, all right, interview over. That's it.
Well, it says you have the prescription for the cure to Obamacare. I'm anxious to see what you're writing.
Yes.
Well, let's start from the beginning. I mean, I think that this has been a PR campaign that's been, superimposed on the American public, where they were told that if you don't have health insurance, you're going to die. That's basically it's been driven by fear. It's been driven by misinformation. And anybody who practices medicine and actually has to make a payroll and actually has to follow the business side of it just as much as the medical side knows that the insurance market is actually stepped in between the doctor and the patient and is costing the patient and the healthcare system more money, not less. And I have patients who actually have health insurance and can't afford to use it. And under Obamacare, that only gets worse. So they took the worst parts of our healthcare system and they doubled down on it. They gave the power to corporate interests, in my opinion, and corporate interest means that the individual gets trumped. The doctor and the patient relationship gets stepped on, and it's all about cost control. And people will find out, I think they're already finding out, that they may carry a policy, but either they've lost their doctor or they really can't even afford to see their doctor at this point. And I find it really disingenuous that they're talking about the decrease of healthcare costs, when in actuality it's really because people can't afford to go to use their healthcare. And that's really sad.
Dr. George, what do you mean by that? People have insurance, but they can't afford to use it.
It's all about the deductible. When I first opened my practice in 2001, people would have insurance and they have to pay zero out of pocket. They present their insurance card and everything was great. Now they have to pay upwards of $10,000 as their deductible and co-insurance before the insurance kicks in.
But
So
they have
imagine this.
but they have low premiums, correct? Supposedly.
No, actually, they don't necessarily. Now they have $400,000 premiums, on top of the out-of-pockets. So the premiums have actually only risen every year since I've been in practice. My reimbursements every year have dropped, and the patient is now more so than ever on the hook to pay out of pocket, even though they carry health insurance.
Not only that,
means
Dr.
is that
George.
they're not doing things that they need to do, and I can't offer the proper services anymore.
Right.
Well, Dr. George, not only that, what you're saying is absolutely true, but the cheapest Obama care, the one that they call bronze, and they had advertisement that's going to cost around $5 a month. If you go and you look at the small letters, these people need to pay $20,000 a year. So this is a joke. And the fraud to the American public and to the patients is incredible. What I don't understand is why the physicians don't stand up and then massively refuse to take any governmental patient.
I absolutely agree with you. I'm actually one of those doctors. I don't accept Medicaid or Medicare anymore in my practice, and it was an evolution. I just didn't do it out of hand. I was forced to do it. And I don't think patients understand that when you take government insurance, you are actually basically a felon until you're proven otherwise. If you underbill somebody, if you don't charge them everything you can, that's fraud. If you code incorrectly, that's fraud. And they changed the policy this year, so it's considered to be willful. You have to prove that it was a mistake. So by the time you keep looking over your shoulder as to whether you've run afoul of Medicare or not, you're just exhausted and you're frightened. And it's a matter of being put out of business or maybe put in jail. Because if you underbill or commit fraud, in their opinion, 3 times, first couple times is $25,000 per occurrence. The third time is jail. I can't afford emotionally or economically to do that. And a lot of doctors, and I agree with you, if we would have stood up at the beginning of this, when people were putting value on our services, the insurance companies stepped in and basically told us, if you don't join health insurances, you won't get patients. And doctors fell into the trap from that point. And now it's only been downhill since then.
Well,
you know something.
Regulations.
I really think this is an opportunity. Like everything in the world, every time when I see something that is negative, I never look at the negativity. I always look at the opportunity. I really think we should go ahead and organize a group of a new type of American medicine, because the American Medicine Association is totally in shambles. They are politicians, number one. They only represent 17% of the population of physicians. We should create a new American Medical Association or something similar, but this time with a total responsibility of the constituency. They should pay a certain amount of maybe $10 belong. Every physician there needs to have some type of a approval to become a member, but they need to be every doctor involved in that. The beauty of that will be that we'll have the power back. We'll be able to negotiate with the insurance company in a certain way that we get our patients back, and we'll get the politicians. And every politician should be tracked to be able to have term limits. We need to put term limits to the political system. So these guys that they go and present in the market individuals that they are going to live for 30 or 40 years in the political arena, they become corrupted at the second year and they live free for the rest of their life. These people need to be passing a law that they need to live with. And that way you will see that things are going to change. We need to change the system, and the political system needs to be elected for 4 years every time. And if it is really good, another 4 years, and then they need to go home. This is the only way that we can correct this corruption. But physicians need to control also the insurance company. We need to evaluate the insurance company. We need to put colors on the insurance company. This insurance company is green. We accept this insurance company. It's good for the patients. It's good for the doctors. This is yellow, is borderline. You start to create problems with the physicians or with the patients. We are watching you. This is red. No physician should take that insurance company. You will see how fast will change.
Dr. George, I just have a question. You know, they call it Obamacare. So where is the care that's part of this shenanigan that we call the Affordable Health Care Act? Because it's neither care nor is it affordable for those that are in it. And if we can't repeal the entire thing, what important parts need to be removed?
I disagree. It needs to be refused. Everything.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Dr. Bonatti's feel is the whole thing should just be done away with. But the reality of it is, if it can't be, God forbid it cannot be,
what can we do to save it?
What parts
or fix
have
it?
to be eliminated?
You know, I've come to a turning point because I've evolved. I used to think that we needed to depend on the government, the Congress, to repeal this. And I've changed my mind. I think that we as doctors and patients, like Dr. Bonatti mentioned, we have the power to change this without Congress. It's about withdrawing your consent, voting with your pocketbook. There's a whole separate medical industry of free market medicine that exists, that has existed, and that's thriving right next to what's going on under Obamacare, but people have no idea. They've been sold a bill of goods about if you don't have health insurance, you can't afford health care. It's not true. Honestly, if you don't, in this day and age, if you don't access your health insurance, it's actually cheaper. And that's where the two-tier medical system is now actually coming online. Those who enter the insurance market and pay all this deductible nonsense are actually getting lower quality care. Their doctors have a yoke on them, their costs are exorbitant, and their choices are driven by the insurance company because they get to decide what's medically necessary.
But
on the flip side, it's not the case.
But why is it that we have insurance companies telling us what's medically necessary, and those that are truly skilled and have gone through the training to know what's medically necessary falls by the wayside?
Follow the money. I mean, this is all because they hold the purse strings. The patient has ceded their power to the insurance company as soon as they pay a premium. The insurance company gets to decide what their care is. When you hold your own pocketbook and your own purse strings, you get to decide that. And doctors are in a position, those of us who are independent, who aren't on the staff or on the payroll of a hospital, and actually can decide, from a free market perspective, what we charge and what we're willing to, give you as discounts. That's the market that people need to know about, because that's where it's cheaper. I mean, I live in Atlanta and I practice here, and I can send patients to surgery centers if they pay fee-for-service out of pocket, 70% discount. I can send them to urgent care centers where it's $135 flat fee, run by board-certified ER doctors, which trumps what they're going to pay in the hospital and get seen by a PA or a nurse practitioner. So we're now seeing an evolution of quality. And you have to pay for what you get.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest about that. But you would be surprised how little it costs to actually take your power back. And there's actually, under Obamacare auspices, health sharing ministries. That's the umbrella. There's Samaritan, there's Liberty Health Share, which is non-denominational. You don't have to be Christian.
Dr. George,
It does.
I hate to interrupt, but we're up against a hard break here.
Okay.
I'm assuming we can even have you back on again because you have some very valid points. The fight rages on. If you want to hear more from Dr. Elena George, it's drelenageorge.com. Thanks for joining us on American Medicine Today this afternoon.
It's my pleasure.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Dr. George.
And you are listening to American Medicine Today. Join us after the break. We'll have more of what's new in American Medicine Today and Brock's Crock. Stay tuned. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Gone.
Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible.
It gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.